Hey Sages, hope you guys are doing well and I hope you guys enjoyed your March 2018. This reading is for March 2018. No, sorry, this reading is for April 2018. I promise I'm grounded, okay? So really quickly, I want to talk to you guys about what's going on in the planets. I will talk to you about the free photo readings that I'm offering that I think I offered you guys last month, but I really can't remember, so I'm just offering it again to all the signs. But first I want to talk about the planets and the reading so that when you send me the image, it can kind of correlate back to this reading, if you know what I mean, like kind of connect the two, because messages come in all different ways. So that being said, the full moon in Libra, how was that for you guys? That was on March 31st. That was bringing up a lot of issues when it comes to relationships that we need to release. So we started to see sides to people, and it was interesting that it was around the long weekend, the holidays, where you're spending more time with your family. Start to realize things about other people, but the best thing about it is when we realize things in other people that either annoy us or that we love and that we wish that we had, we actually do possess it ourselves. So we're able to look at somebody and be like, oh my gosh, I love that person's, compassion. I love how giving they are. I love their generosity. We wouldn't be able to acknowledge it in that person unless we ourselves had it. So, especially when it comes to negative things as well. If we're like, oh my gosh, my aunt whoever or my uncle whoever, is so this. We have to acknowledge that within ourselves, and that full moon in Libra allowed us to see that more clearly. And as soon as you acknowledge it within yourself, you own it, and then it no longer owns you, aka you release yourself from that grip. So that full moon in Libra was really excellent, and you still have, it's the third now, so you still have time to really embody that energy and really think back to the holiday season, really think back to the 31st, and around that time, what judgments were you starting to form when it comes to relationships? Mercury is still retrograde from March 22nd. It's now going direct April 15th, but there's a shadow period until May 3rd, which means to continue being cognizant of delays, communication errors, don't sign any new leases, don't buy any new technology, work with the energy, not against it, because it can be quite the struggle, for sure. April 15th is also a new moon in Aries, a fellow fire sign like you're Sagittarius. So new moon in Aries, it's time to start clearly bringing in some energy and manifesting some power at home with the family, okay? I think that's what the full moon in Libra really brought out, is that you don't have a lot of empowerment when it comes to home and family. And you're starting to realize, like, okay, like I need to start really feeling like I'm in more control here. I know that Sagittarius, they kind of like to travel and get themselves out there, and they're not really, depending on what other planets you have, what other placements you have, a lot of Sagittarius energy doesn't necessarily want to be grounded, but also wanting that energy as well because you don't possess it. So Saturn retrograde is on April 17th, and that is the planet of restriction and limitations. So that's going to be all internalized, where you feel like you kind of, where your authority is, where you feel like you kind of can't move, where you feel like you have a lot of obstacles. That's going to be all internalized for you to do the inner work to really scale back and be like, where did this stem from? Why do I feel, what authority figure put this obstacle on me, which now makes me feel like I can't move forward and I can't be free? And working through those obstacles is going to be the best and most advantageous thing for you to do, Sagittarius, because it's going to free up that energy, and it's going to be really positive in the end. And that's going to happen. Saturn goes retrograde until about September 6th. Then we have Pluto going retrograde, and Pluto retrograde, that's the planet of obsession, of taboo subjects, of sex, death, taxes, deep down issues. So when Pluto goes retrograde, we really internalize a lot of deep down issues that we need to work through, and then we can use that energy to move on with our power. And then full moon in Scorpio, April 29th, releasing it all. So Pluto retrograde on the 22nd, we start to go inward and think about where we feel constricted, where we feel like you know, we're obsessed with these issues, and then the full moon on Scorpio on the 29th, we're going to be like, okay, let's just release it and move on with our power. So that's what's going on in the sky. Now let's get started on your reading. This is for Sagittarius, April 2018. Sagittarius, April 2018. So the main thing that your subconscious wanted to talk to you about was finding that empowerment at home within the family in order to positively and with creativity and optimism move forward, move on with your power, okay? So getting that power just so you can move on, which is funny. But yeah, sometimes you need to kind of have that empowerment at home in order to be like, no, like I'm moving on, I'm letting go, goodbye. But when we don't feel powerless, that we feel like we need to stay back. Okay, so the theme of this reading is you've gained a teacher. You've gained some sort of knowledge, some deep knowledge that is now affecting your power when it comes to home. It's the key in order for you to find that positivity and that optimism to move on with your power. You've done the inner work. You've found that hidden knowledge, and now you're like, okay, I can be free. I can take a risk. I can make a change. I'm doing this, okay? The spiritual teacher may have a W in their first, middle, or last name if that spiritual teacher wasn't just you doing your inner work to really inform yourself in a more profound way. However, that is creating some power struggles, especially when it comes to this Queen of Pentacles type person, somebody who's really focused on material side of life. King of Pentacles is also here, so could be parents. You know, could be, there's two people that kind of represent the yin and yang of the material world, and you doing all this spiritual work and gaining the spiritual knowledge is now kind of forcing you to feel like you need to prove to the King and Queen of Pentacles that, you know, you're taken care of. You have the power with this spiritual knowledge now, with this hidden knowledge, and you feel confident to make this change and to move forward and to really be free. But it's just trying to figure it out and work with the King and Queen of Pentacles. That's causing a lot of conflict because you've invested a lot. But a message is coming in, a couple messages that are really going to bring some new work. But there's still a lot of fear that you're not going to make it from the King and Queen of Pentacles. There's fear that you have to let go of your material power and your material aspect in order to create something more spiritual. You're getting a lot of judgment, which is causing some confusion. Causing a lot of confusion. But it is going to work out in the end. It's just going to cause you to really spend some time alone. Some inner work. Because at the end of the day, you know what you need to do. Okay? So, main situation of this reading is that you've learned a lot. You've learned a lot. You've really uncovered a lot of hidden knowledge when it comes to these relationships in your life. And I'm seeing like you've caught a lot of flies. You know, I'm seeing that fly trap that's just that strip of stickiness. With this spiritual knowledge, you've now gained a lot of flies. You've gained a lot of opportunities, a lot of energy coming in. And also just a lot of confidence and a lot of knowledge to be like, no, this is what I want to do. Right now you have so many different directions, so many different paths you could take. The obstacle and the aid is greed though. So that's hindering your ability to really use this knowledge that you've gained, but it's also helping you to use a lot of this knowledge that you've gained, okay? Subconsciously, you're really thinking about this partnership, really thinking about your reputation and your pride when it comes to this partnership as well, and how intertwined you are with them. Like, I'm feeling like a lot of stress on my shoulders. It's almost like, you know, I'm feeling also like hunched over, like you've kind of broken your back in order to support this partnership. But because of the knowledge that you've gained through this spiritual teaching, you're also starting to see the greedy side of it. You're thinking that somebody is taking a lot from you. Somebody's deceiving you. Somebody's trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Okay? You right now are really building up a lot of your strength, and you're taming your beast in a way. Okay? Family and friends, that full moon, you really got to see that side of your relationships. Hope and fear is an overburden of responsibilities, okay? So you want to have more responsibility and energy, but you fear it as well, because what does that mean? You know, you won't be able to move on so quickly if you're completely overburdened with responsibility, but that overburden of responsibility is going to also give you that energy and that confidence and that, you know, that key to walking your true path and moving on with your power. Okay, Sag. So, the last card is a very positive one. Emotional happiness, everything taken care of. First step is to realize that you're being deceived. You're being deceived, okay? Somebody in your life, you know it, because the spiritual teachings that you've learned and this hidden knowledge that you've uncovered, you're starting to see the greed within the home and family and within this partnership. You're being deceived. Recognizing that it's going to lead to emotional fulfillment, emotional happiness, because you're going to be able to clear this. It's going to bring in new thoughts, okay? So you recognize that you're being deceived, which is going to change your frame of mind, which is going to change everything. It's going to change your happiness overall, okay? You're being deceived. You should know by now who's deceiving you, but by the end of April, that full moon in Scorpio, because it's so intuitive, you're going to be like, oh. Same with Pluto retrograde. You're going to be like, oh, I know who's been deceiving me. So, what does Sagittarius need to know for April 2018 to help them on their journey? What does the Sag need to know? Whoops. Okay, so it's something you haven't acknowledged yet. Something you haven't owned or faced. Mother Mary. Mother Mary. I don't get this card very often. So really, I think that the King and Queen of Pentacles, like that parent structure, that authority figure there, I think that's where a lot of the deception is coming from. Either you were deceived by a maternal figure in your life and you're now recreating that pattern through a relationship, through like a sexual relationship or a partnership, or this person is still deceiving you. So it's time to really go inward, get real, get clear, ask your guides for help. Who is deceiving me? Even calling on Mother Mary, because she's the most maternal energy that you can tap into, and she's going to be honest with you. So tapping in this energy, who's deceiving me? What can I do besides asking for your help in order to move on? But a change of mind, change of frame of mind is going to be the first step in order to freeing yourself from this deception and being overall happy. Ooh, it's only 13 minutes long. Okay, well, I do want to talk to you guys about the free photo reading. Yes, I am offering free photo readings. Send me the picture of the person who you think is deceiving you. Try to get their permission first. If you can't get their permission, we may be creating bad karma, but mainly if you can get a picture of you with this person who you think is deceiving you, or who you suspect is deceiving you, then that'll be a lot easier, because then we can work with the energy and just see how that's working out. Send your pictures unfiltered. Don't send me anything filtered. Down below is my email address. I'm also doing my personal readings, of course, which include astrology, numerology, and tarot. The only thing I'm asking in order for us to have good karma and for a positive energy exchange is for you to subscribe in return for the free photo reading. But I'm really excited to see you, Sages. I'm really excited to tap into your energy. And yeah, I love you guys so much. I hope you have an amazing April, given the circumstances. I want to hear what's going on, so keep me posted. And I will see you in May, probably with a little baby. So fingers crossed. Love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.